all Black people do not have over-exaggerated features. I know that's a surprise to folks, but we don't. We don't.
Hi, welcome to this edition of Real Talk with TAS and OnJerya. I am your host or co-host of Real Talk with TAS and OnJerya. I'm Dr. Teresa Smith. Dr. TAS and OnJerya, of course, is my beautiful sister who always got something going on. And so we look so forward to hanging out with you guys because, as I always say, I never know what's going on with OnJerya. So we always have to just kind of hold on to see what she's going to be talking about.
Why we got the memo?
I don't know.
How we get the memo?
I don't know, honey. I am currently representing. I am shedding. I am currently representing
Oh,
WSSU.
Okay, I thought you were going to perhaps say 1985, the class of 85.
This is the class of
Okay.
03. Oh, sorry, 07. 03 is when I graduated from high school. 07 with the big Ram.
Okay, so you representing what's that state? University.
Yes, state. OSU, where you enter to learn and depart to serve.
Serve. I've heard you say that. We enter to learn, we depart to serve.
And that's what I've been doing ever since.
And I certainly thank them for helping me to make sure that you will be able to serve.
I'm sure that they appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking at myself. Do you see anybody? Who do you see?
I mean, I see a couple of people, so I don't know.
Who do you see there?
I mean, I don't know. It's like I see Grandma. I see Mama.
Grandma Eula.
I can see Grandma Eula just a little bit.
Okay, because that's the only grandmother that you would be seeing, because you don't know Grandma Laney.
Right. So I see Grandma Eula just a little. I see Mama.
Okay. Yeah. I was seeing Mama, and I was seeing a little bit of Grandma, a little bit. It was like I was seeing a little bit of Hat.
Yeah.
I used to tell Mama, particularly when I lived at my old place, every now and then it's always funny how it will catch me. I'll just glance up, and then I'll see somebody, and it was usually it would be Hat, but Hat had she had an odd complexion. My complexion's odd, and I think that's why I see her sometimes when I'm not expecting it. Because at first I was looking real pale. I was like, "Oh, you looking like Mama," because I was looking real pale, no makeup, so I could see I was looking pale.
Yeah.
I could see it, and then it was like my face sort of shifted a little bit, and I did sort of see Grandma, and it was like it's almost like Aunt Hat was coming through just a little bit. Yeah, because she's the only other person, because I never saw Aunt Nudie in me, because Aunt Nudie's so much fairer. But yeah, I would see Hat periodically and be like, and I would call Mama and say, "Guess who I just saw in the mirror?" I saw Hat. Because it's funny to me how that the genes and everything just kind of pop up at some point. OnJerya, I'm gonna take this tonight.
Fine with me.
She's so sweet. Fine with her. I'm an artist. And what does she then say? She's serious about her whatever. I'm very attached to, there's a few things in life that I'm very attached to. I'm talking family now. Of course, because you don't, well, of course, but you don't know him. I'm very attached to Uncle Johnny. Hi, Jesse Blackman, 23. Thank you for joining us. I'm very attached to Uncle Johnny. He was a Vietnam veteran. He was shot and killed by the police Sunday, January 1st, 1978. Our mother really doesn't drive, really even now. And I grew up with her taking her brother to the VA hospital in Salisbury, North Carolina, and bringing him to Raleigh. At that time in the 70s, they diagnosed individuals who were suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as schizophrenic, because that's where we were as far as our mental health at that time. And Uncle Johnny was a brilliant man. I remember his bicycle, and the bicycle that he had at that time, instead of paddling in circles, it went like this. Now think about where we have come from. So you may not even know this, OnJerya. And I can remember it being behind the house. I don't know if it was after he had died or what, but the bicycle, it went like this. And Mama would talk sometimes about he had taken rubber. And you know how now you'll see people with the rubber, it'd be circles or whatever, and you use it to open jars? Yeah. He did that when he was a boy. Yeah, the mechanics of that. And so they're just some things that I'm very passionate about.
Right.
I always, and I will still say, I was his favorite. And I carried a little guilt, but I've gotten over it, because I knew when he was sick that time, I knew he was sick. Mama didn't know it. And how I knew he was sick, he gave Marley some money. I don't even know how much it was. It could have been $1. I don't even know. But he didn't give me anything. Thank you for joining us, Lizzie Pop. Hopefully I said that correctly. He didn't give me anything. And he had come, and I can remember talking to Mama and driving, but he gave Marley some money. And I knew something was wrong, but I was so young. I was like in 5th grade, but I knew something was off because he didn't give me anything. Gotcha. And, it's always about education. You have to get a good education, blah, 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 blah. And so then, of course, we see Mama gets the phone call. I think I talk about this in Strong. Mama gets the phone call. We're getting ready for church. She gets the phone call. I guess, I don't even know if she dropped the phone. I don't even know. She comes running from the bedroom, through the house, out the front door, and I run out the side door. And I'm on the little small porch, and I'm looking around, and it's all these people there. And she's out in the yard, and she's telling Uncle Johnny to look at her, because she's headed towards the neighbors, but she's still in the yard, and she's telling him to look at her, and put the rifle down. And so he puts the rifle down. Whenever he would get sick and start having the flashbacks, he would always go into the woods. And I remember the police coming, or other people coming to church, because we'd be at church and say that he's in the woods and the police are trying to get him. And she would leave church and she would go in the woods, and she would get him to come out. And that morning, he puts the gun down. Dad is behind her. He puts the gun down and he turns his head towards the woods. And then the next thing we know, we hit a shot. And, she's screaming. Mama's screaming, and she's going down. And of course, they shot and killed him. And like I said, there's just a few things that I'm passionate about. Uncle Johnny is one of those things. Because having been sexually abused, then I thought if I had told him, but I've worked through that too, because I realized he would have hurt that person. He would have probably killed the person that abused me. So I'm glad I didn't tell him, but I love that man. I love that man. And he was only with me for a short period of time, because he was killed in 1978, so about 10 years. And then, of course, there's Grandma. Now I love me some Lainey Tillman Rivers Bennett. My mother's mother, we had Mayday. We used to have it in our community. I don't know if other people had it, but we had Mayday. And so my mama was on the Mayday court. And so there was some stuff going on, always is. But anyway, they get to the Mayday festival. And so my mama's on the court, and then my grandmother has a stroke. And so they get my grandmother to the hospital, and my mom was a senior. They get her to the hospital, And then mama is, going there after school or however she was doing it. But anyway, she was at the hospital with mama, basically grandma rather, around the clock. And so then they're going to let my grandmama come home. And then some stuff happened. And then grandmama has a stroke, another stroke. And then she passes. And so it was just my mama and her brother and then my granddad. And so they were very, very close, mama and Uncle Johnny. And obviously, because she would go in the woods and mama don't go outside really, but she'd go in the woods, she would drive to take care of her brother. And she talked to me, she taught me the importance of being a good steward of everything, knowledge, relationships. I don't always do the right thing, guys, because I'm not perfect. But mama taught me by who shot and killed the police did. The police did. I don't know. He'd put the gun down, and for a long time, until about 2 years ago, Jesus, but I didn't even realize that I was impacted by police violence. It was after the Black Lives Matter, and I don't know what triggered it for me. I was probably doing an interview, and it just clicked that you have experienced police violence.
Right.
But I didn't think of it that way because it's all those years ago. And even though I wrote the book in 2017, it was released in 2017, Strongly How Overcoming Life's Adversity Will Push You Into Your Purpose. I never thought about it that way because it was so traumatic seeing him shot and killed. And he meant so much to me. And my mother, she just went to pieces, literally. We had to put her back together, like $6 million man. We had to put her back together. So that was happening after the services. And, I didn't go to his funeral because I felt like I had to go to school because education was so important. But I think now I wasn't supposed to go because I don't really remember seeing him, because I'm trying to think is what I'm seeing now, if this is real. I don't think I really remember seeing him in the casket. And I didn't go to the funeral. And I remember telling mama at one point, OnJerya and guys, that when they were talking about it at school the next day, well, I shouldn't say the next day, whenever we went back, might have been Tuesday. And I said to my teacher, that was my uncle. And then everything got shut down. Because again, why are we having conversation about what's going on in the community with not being wise enough to understand somebody in that classroom may have been impacted by that loss. And I happen to have been the person that was impacted by that loss. And yes, absolutely. What institutions are we building in response to these horrific acts? And so, and I don't know when I told mama about that, because, mama is very something when it comes to Uncle Johnny. And I get it. I really do get it because I'm something too. And so then, it's Uncle Johnny and then it's grandmama. And like I said, grandmother, I didn't have, like when you said you saw grandmama, and I'm like, Grandma Eula. Well, who else would it be but Grandma Eula? Because we never saw Grandma Lane. We seen pictures. And when I was younger, mama said that I sort of looked like her, but I think it was the complexion. And my complexion has gotten lighter, but those little black and white pictures of grandma too. So my complexion has gotten lighter as I've gotten older. But needless to say, mama talked about her mother all the time. And she would say, my mama said, and then she would tell us, she would give us a saying and blah, blah, blah. And my grandmother was a very intelligent Black woman. She was a woman who my grandfather wanted one thing, my grandmother wanted something else. So my grandmother built the house that she wanted. And we're talking, my mama was born, I was born in the 60s. So I don't know how old mama would have been then. So grandmama wanted the house that she wanted, so she built it. She would go upstate with the white family that she worked for on the I guess Boston, somewhere on the coast, up into the Hamptons, wherever. The furniture that my grandmother had, my mother wanted a fireplace because my grandmother had a fireplace with a hearth in her house. When I was a little girl going to my grandparents' house, my grandmother had a sleigh bed. So, those were the things that I was accustomed to seeing. She had a high bed. The bed that happens to be in this room is a high bed. When it comes to my grandmother, Laney Tillman Rivers Bennett, um, don't cross me. Because it's that woman's wisdom passed down through my mother that has kept me sane all these years. You don't cross me when it comes to Laney. Because she was not an unintelligent Black woman. Also, my grandmother was the type of person, because I get it from Mama, she was an inclusive person, meaning that, she didn't look at it as black and white. We were taught that if anybody else could do something, you can do it. Now, you're going to have to do the work, as Cyrus Webb would say. You're going to do the work, but you can do it, and you can do it better. There are times when I'm working with people, I will do the $6 Million Man, Steve Austin, astronaut, a man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology to make the world's first bionic man. And Steve Austin will be that man. He'll be better, he'll be stronger, and he will be faster. Obviously, I watched a lot of $6 Million Man. I love Lee Majors. But I say that because my point is this: you can do anything you want to do. That's the way I was raised. And my mother got that from a Renaissance woman, a woman before her time. Because I told my mother that she was a woman before her time, because how do you know these things? And as my mother began to pour all of this into me, and we would have these philosophical conversations, I would tell her, no, Mama, you don't have it right. This is what grandmama meant. Because I'm a student. And I've heard this over and over and over again. I'm like, let's go a little bit further, Mama, to uncover what your mama was trying to get us to understand. And then she'll be like, well, I never thought about it that way. It's okay, Mama. That's the reason you had me. And that's the reason why I be channeling ladies sometimes, I believe, because she was different. She's a different woman. I am an introvert, but then I wonder sometimes how much of my introvert is really the DNA and the lessons that I was being taught. Because, as we were saying yesterday on the live, you can take time with a dog. You can learn from a dog, just don't take up time with it. What does she mean? You can learn from anybody, but you got to be careful who you spend your time with, baby. Because we have always heard that birds of a feather flock together. So what does that mean? You have to be mindful of what you do and who you do it with. I just been feeling some kind of way. So I guess, Angela, like I said, I'll take it tonight.
I mean, that's fine with me, honey, because again, after the day I've had,
I understand.
and the day I'm still going to have when we get done.
Absolutely.
It's a good day. That's all I can say. It's a good day.
Well, it is a good day. I'm cataloging the sayings that are not in the new book that I didn't put in there. I'm trying to catalog them. It is a good day. You're not gonna get that. You make sure you don't get up with no fleas. And that's not all. That story, that line, that saying can be interpreted so many different ways. So you're gonna have to shake it off, as Taylor Swift would say. Shake it off, because again, I'm not taking on. That's the reason I'm having this conversation. I'm not taking on nobody else's issues. I was taught to be inclusive. Now, last week, OnJerya spent a lot of time parting her hair. I was doing some editing just before I came down. She spent a lot of time parting her hair because she's seen a reel on somewhere, probably TikTok. And so the lady was saying that she walks into the place to get her oil change or whatever. The man's like, are you Black? Yes. Why are you asking me? Are you sure? Yes. You sure? Yes. Why are you asking me? I've not seen Black people who have long hair. Okay. And so then we began to have this conversation about colorism and colorism within the race and how individuals still believe that you have to be able to pass the brown paper bag or the brown napkin, as Jay held it up last week, in order to have hair. All Black people do not have over-exaggerated features. I know that's a surprise to folks, Black folks, but we don't. We don't. I have no lipstick on. My lips are pink. I just didn't put I didn't put no, I keep saying I didn't put any lip liner. I didn't put any gloss or anything. They're just pink. Why does this dark woman have pink lips? It's in my DNA. It's in my DNA. I have always loved to travel, and I've traveled the world. My father has been very good to me. You know, I got to say this. Just before I came on, I said to Mother, I was very angry. And of course, when I said it, you know, I mean, I thought about Richard Gere. She said, "You paid $10,000 to be able to say yes." Mother, I was very angry. I was very angry. But my father's been very good to me, and I had the ability. I got the pleasure. I had the honor to travel when I was in high school. So I went to England and France, and I've been traveling ever since. But I grew up in a home where we embrace everybody. I didn't grow up in a home where people use slang about different ethnicities. I didn't grow up in that type of environment. I'm sorry. And then when I went abroad, oh my gosh, I loved it. And it's like, I got to do this again. And, you know, I do it all the time now because I love it. So when I do something, whatever it is, when I got my doctorate, it's about, a part of it was about cultural intelligence because I like culture. And just like with social intelligence and emotional intelligence, there's something called cultural intelligence also. And the instrument that I used was used by businesses to determine whether or not employees would be a good fit to be expats and work abroad. And I have an MBA, so I was fascinated by that. And I used that instrument among other ones when I did my dissertation. So culture is very important to me. And I feel some kind of way when we have not progressed. I feel some kind of way. And I feel sometimes like we throw the rock and hide our hand. We cannot be who we are to be in 2025 until we deal with our own mess. I'm sorry. I have said it and I'll continue to say it until we leave out of 2025. I want to be a better version of me in 2025, but that means I got to do the work for me. And I'm not taking on anybody else's mess. They need to deal with their own mess. Whether it is hair length, whether it is hair color, the size of a person's breast, the size of a person's hips, bottom, thighs, legs, whatever it is, until you learn to love you and accept you for who you are, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to be unhappy. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how you dress that pig up, you're still going to be a pig and unhappy. Because you cannot progress the way that you want to progress when you don't deal with your stuff. And it is unreasonable. That used to be your word, wasn't it, OnJerya? Unreasonable? You know, you're so silly there, just Jesus Blackman. It's unreasonable to think that you're going to put your crap on me and make me feel some kind of way. And I'm not supposed to know what you're doing. You see, my grandmama she was a woman among women. She was a woman, and see, I used to say that, and then mama started saying it. Because you see, I was a very precocious child. I was a very smart child. Very smart. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious. braggadocious. In fact, is the fact. But then life started happening. So I started to withdraw because then I became observant because I had to protect me. And because I absorbed knowledge, I love to read, I love to watch everything. I could see in the lessons and the things that Mama was telling me about her mother, I could see it on the screen because I'm watching these movies. I could see it. And it's like, okay, I'm taking this, I'm taking that. All of these different pieces are becoming a part of who I am. So when I say that you got to get in touch with who you really are and stop trying to parade around like everything is great, just great, great, great. But you go try to make somebody else feel bad, bad, bad. Yeah, you need to get with that because I'm not taking on nobody crap this year. Not this year. Life is too short. And if you knew what I knew was coming, you'd get with the program. You get with the program. Because what's coming is not going to be pretty. But I'm not at liberty to talk about that, so I can't say much more than that. But it's not going to be pretty. So one way that you can be prepared for it is to at least be real with yourself. I mean, why can't you even be real with yourself? And I'm not talking about the boobs and all that stuff, OnJerya, the fake stuff. I ain't caring about that. I'm talking about who we are on the inside. Who we are on the inside. But we don't want to do that. I think it was, I don't know who it was, somebody was, I was listening to so many interviews, but basically it was something like, oh, I think it was Stacy last night. I am Stacy Thomas. Something basically like, it's the difference between want to do something, I don't know how she said it, and then doing it. So basically, you want to be XYZ, well, do it. A lot of people want to be whatever, do it. But do it for the right reasons too. Because anything that you're doing because of somebody else, competition or this or that, it's not going to fare well, baby. It's not. Karma is real. And like I said to Mama, I can't call the name. I said this to her. And I said all that before we came live. I was talking live. You so crazy, OnJerya. I said to Mama, I said, such and such and such and such. I said, they're going to wind up and have a blank experience. There was a person when I was working at the State Department, and, you know, I enjoyed my time at the State Department, but the person wasn't that kind to me. And then the Lord moved them, and they got blessed, but I was still at the State Department. So all of that to say, we are we got one more week in January. People, you know, they're throwing in the towel. It's like, I can't do this. You know, they've done those New Year's resolutions. I don't do them. They're throwing in the towel. The question becomes, why are you throwing in the towel? Are you throwing in the towel because you were going to do something because you thought it was going to get you some street creds or brownies, whatever it is the slang would be with somebody or a group of people? Or are you throwing in the towel because you chose not to do something because it was too hard? He never told you it was going to be easy, baby. Nobody told you it was going to be easy. The song. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. Or is it that, oh, I just thought I wanted that, but I don't really want that. Whatever it is. OnJerya would say, cry me a river. Whatever it is, the reason why you're not moving forward or you decide to throw in the towel. If you throw in the towel, it's your fault. Don't try to blame nobody else. Stop doing that. Take responsibility. You are accountable for your actions. You are the person who's accountable. And if you're not in a space where you can do that, go somewhere and sit down. That's something about what my grandma said that's not in the new book. Go sit down somewhere. Or there is a story that's in the book, but I wrote it about the kids. Since OnJerya wouldn't give me the feedback and I had to read her the book, so then she gave me feedback. It's not your time to shine, baby. When it's your time to shine, then you shine. Go sit down. That's what I tell the kids. Go sit down. It's not your time, baby. But understand, this could be your time, but you're missing it because you're going to attack something out of the wrong space, out of the wrong energy. And because of that, you will not get what you're supposed to get. Everybody can go into the promised land. Remember? Some of them people, they had to die. Them generations had to die out. They had to die out. Because they got across the Red Sea. Moses went up to have a conversation with God, and they went back to worshiping the idol gods. So you see, some people couldn't go into the promised land, got that close. So here we are in 2025. Don't be that close to your promised land, whatever it is. And then realize, as Mama like to say, that green-eyed monster. That's what Mama always called. Yeah, Mama's like crazy. I love Mama now. I'm the only person that can say that about her besides OnJerya in my life. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't get it twisted now. The green-eyed monster has gotten you. It was a golden calf or whatever it was for the children of Israel when they crossed over the Red Sea. Don't let that stop you from being the best version of yourself that you can be in 2025 going into 2026, because you're going to need it. You're going to need to be the best version of yourself. I'm telling you this now because I know what's coming. You don't know. I know what's coming. And I've known for quite a few years what was coming. And now I can see it already unfolding. I see it. I see it before me. And for those who I've talked to about it, I'm pointing it out to them. I'm pointing it out. So, look, this has been a good day for me. It's been a productive day. I had a little emotional roller coaster when I was sharing some stuff with Mama because I get very passionate about some things. Because some things really matter to me. And my foundation matters. Because without it, I wouldn't be sitting here. Without my foundation, I wouldn't sit here. And you're not going to tear down my foundation. So I hope that something that I dropped tonight is going to help somebody. But you really do need to start getting yourself together. I'm serious about that because it's something coming. You know, it's coming. And it may come even faster. Well, this is already February, as OnJerya would say. So we right in it. We in it already. We were in it before we went into January. And now it's almost February. It's coming. It's already here. So, what's the, you don't even know this song, OnJerya. We used to sing when we were little children, down in Grandma. People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no ticket, just get on board. And I probably have butchered the lyrics to that, but you guys look it up. We need to get ready. Get ready. OnJerya, is there anything you'd like to share tonight before I wrap this
I don't
up?
know. Like, you've been talking for like the last 30 minutes. So I was like, stuff. Is she even going to let me get a word in? Because obviously you got something on your chest. And I wanted you to have this
Thank you.
opportunity to get it off your chest. I mean,
Thank you.
because I really
Thank
was
you.
like,
Thank you.
obviously this is a Taz speak moment where Taz is
Taz
just talking
moment. Taz
whatever.
moment.
She's just talking to the people, and I'm just here like everybody else watching as you talk to the people.
Well, sometimes it has to be like that.
Well, my thing is this. I'm going to be honest with you. In the words of Alexis, in my big old age, I don't care.
I
I don't
love
care.
Alexis. In my big, in
I don't care.
that big old age, why did she even say that? Does anybody
I
else say that
don't
besides
care.
Alexis?
I do not care. I do not care. I do not care. I don't care whether you get it together or not.
Well, you see, we have different callings on our life, OnJerya.
At this point, I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. And the reason why I don't care is because it's Tony Braxton. It's another sad love song. I don't want to hear it anymore. You have had years upon years upon years upon years upon years to get it together. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear the woe is me. I don't want to hear the excuses because I really don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because I'm worried about self. I can't be stressed out about other people and their stuff. You got to work through your mess just like I'm working through mine. If you choose not to work through it, then baby, that's on you. Because that ain't got nothing to do with me. But what I will be doing is putting up them boundaries that, you know, we really didn't have, but we had, but we really didn't have. Because I don't want to hear it. I'm tired. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spirit, I'm tired. I can't take on nothing else.
Yours. You don't
Right.
ever find me nothing.
I can't take on nothing else. It's like people have just been complaining and complaining and complaining. And I'm like, but when things were better, you complained then. So now things are changing and it's not changing for the better. You're still complaining. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your sob story. I don't want to hear the woe is me. We don't want to hear it. We are seriously in a whole nother year. Whole nother year, about to be the end of January. If you still having that same conversation that you had 2 years ago, hush. If you still moving and walking and doing the same things that you did in 2024, hush. We don't want to hear it because at this point it has fallen on deaf ears. I don't have no more to give to you because I have to live for me. And as long as I allow myself to sit here and listen to you go on and on and on and on, the only person that's suffering is me because we already know what the game is. You're not going to get it together. And that's fine. But what you're not going to do is hinder me from getting it together. Because I don't want to be stuck where I was 10 years ago. I don't want to be where I was 5 years ago. I don't even want to be where I was last year. At this point, I don't even want to be where I was at 2 days ago.
No, honey.
I don't want to be
Be
where I
better
was at 2
off
days ago. So
No.
again, if you are not happy with yourself, you got to change it. Nobody else is going to be able to change it for you. We didn't ask for your opinion. When I want your opinion, then you can provide it. But if I don't ask for it, please don't give it. Don't give it because, again, we do not care.
No.
We don't care because at the end of the day, life is too short and you need to identify who you are. It's like I saw something recently and, you know, I thought about our wonderful sorority and how we say often imitate it but never duplicate it. Be yourself.
But will we say that too, OnJerya?
Yeah, we say that.
I know I'm just messing with you, but when you said, and I said I am Stacey Thomas, that wasn't Stacey. That was someone else's interview I saw last night with Cyrus. But when you say that, I don't think about Alpha Kappa Alpha at this moment. You know who I think about? It's not a trick question. You know who I think about?
I know her.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah.
No, I think about Harold C. Smith because
Well,
I
that's true.
I grew see the little things like that, and I don't know why. Because you heard me say, yeah, we said it, yeah, but you see, I'm in my formative years right now.
Right.
Because I'm finalizing that book. So when I hear that right now, I hear Harold C. Smith because that's the slogan. He's a funeral home director, no relations. And that's the slogan, often imitated, never duplicated. And that taught me we are individuals.
Right.
And that he has always provided exceptional service. Nobody can do it like Harold C. Smith. You know, and it's like that has always resonated with me. Also, I'm gonna butcher it. You know, when he was doing funerals, you know, he'd be walking, he'd be, you know, reciting poems. as he's doing his work with the family and getting people up to see the body. Da, da, da. And he would say, and I'm gonna mess it up because I'm trying to say it. Reputation is who people say you are. Character is who you are. And that is a poem because I've looked it up over the years and looked at the whole thing. And that has always resonated with me. And Mr. Smith probably would never think that those things would have resonated with me like that. But they have, because those are those other lessons that I was being taught along the way. Yes, we both AKA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
are.
both AKA. We the ski first and finest, 1908. It's still my picture's still up there. I haven't taken it down
I
yet.
want to do that. Yeah.
I'm taking it down
I'll let it
yet.
linger for a few more days.
Yeah, I figured. I figured I'd let it linger for the end of the month at least. But yeah, so again, so when you said it, just I guess like I said, I'm in that formative stage. I'm hearing Mr. Smith say that because, and I'm seeing it on the calendars. I'm hearing it on they probably was on the radio way back when the commercials. I'm hearing that over and over again, often imitated, never duplicated. And that says, as Mama would say, that Grandma would say, stand on your own. Be the best. As she said yesterday, if you're going to be a floor sweeper, be the best floor sweeper. I probably hear Mrs. Smith saying the same thing in my head. Be the best floor sweeper. He has said that you can be.
But the problem is, I want what you have. But the thing is, that's
I don't want to
great.
go through
I'm
this.
glad.
You don't
I'm
want to go
glad
through this
you
mess
want it.
again. You don't want to
I'm
go through
glad
this.
that you
You want this.
think that you want what I have. But the
Mm-mm.
part that people tend to forget is you don't know what I had to go through in order to get what I have. And sometimes the things that I had to go through to get what I have would break you.
Yeah.
It
You
would
know.
break you. And so, again, when we talk about idolizing people, idolizing gods, being in competition, I compete with nobody but
Mm-mm.
myself.
That's it.
I don't compete with my sisters. I say
Mm-mm.
this all the time. I can remember being probably like a junior or senior in high school, and
Yeah.
everybody was like,
Yeah.
so Teresa went to Carolina, so we know you're going to Carolina. Absolutely did not go to Carolina. I went to the wonderful WSSU,
You did.
HBCU style.
Ram.
I'm a
Ram in the house.
Ram. I'm not a Tar Heel. Of course, I'm a Tar Heel fan because, my family wouldn't have it any other way.
Of course not. Exactly.
They wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
it any other way. But at the end of the day, I didn't have to follow in my sister's footsteps step by step. Yes, she created the path, and I appreciate that. But her path was her path, my path was my path.
Okay.
Now, does that mean that there are some similarities? Of course. But why wouldn't it be?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't it be? Like, we were raised in the same household? No, we were not
Exactly.
raised together.
Mm-mm.
No, we wasn't
Mm-mm.
there at the same time.
No.
But still, the the morals and values that were instilled in us still exist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of us may act like I don't know nothing about none of that y'all talking about. And it's okay because, sometimes I question, did the stork drop you off at the wrong address? You, she gonna get me too. Well, she
I
probably
will
won't
do
get
this
me because she
time.
won't even catch this on the replay. But for those that know, mom and daddy will probably get me for that statement and be like, I shouldn't have said that, but facts. Anyway, I love her. She know I love her. But the bottom line is compete with yourself. Stop competing with everybody else. And the point that I was making with that is that my personality is my personality. I don't channel nobody else's personality. And so when I saw something, I was like, wow, you can't even be yourself?
Yeah.
You got a chance on me too?
Yeah.
Through and through?
Yeah.
You cannot be me, baby. You cannot trust and believe. You do not want to walk in these size 11 shoes. Okay? These some
Yeah.
big shoes to fill over here, some work. And you don't want to be over here because again, you don't know my story. It's still being written, but them past chapters, honey, you couldn't even imagine. So again, be yourself, work on yourself, worry about yourself, stop worrying about other people. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Why do you care so much? Those people cannot make you, they cannot break you. It goes back to the story that we talked about, a few weeks ago with the girl, the teenager, the young lady, whatever, that was pregnant and came before the church and asked for forgiveness. Why? Why do you need man to forgive you? So you mean every time I do something wrong, I got to come before the church and be like, please forgive me. Please, I didn't mean to do it. First of all, who are you to judge me? Because when you judge me, make sure you judge yourself. Because there's no difference in a big sin and a little sin. Sin is sin. Yep. We're all wrong. We've all done wrong. As long as if you got breath in your body, you have sinned. You're continuing to sin. It is what it is. As long as you, as an individual, ask for forgiveness and you repent for your sins, that's all that matters. But this whole attention seeking, it has to stop. I'm sorry. It has to stop. Doing things for people to like you and love you and make you feel accepted, it really does have to stop, because people are with you for the wrong reason. People are in your circle because of the benefits that they're receiving from you. They don't care nothing about you. You can be replaced. Just
when did she say
like I met you?
Beyonce said she'll place you in okay.
He said, I can have another you in a minute because you must not know about me. So again, worry about yourself. Stop worrying about other people. Stop trying to fit in a situation that is not your situation, because you see how other people are receiving the attention. And I don't even want to say attention, because it's really not attention.
Not attention.
Really not attention. But how people are responding to it. Like, worry about you, stop worrying about other people, and I promise you life will be good. But until we get to that point, until people do the work and they don't want to do the work, and we talked about this, because doing the work is hard, and I'm sorry it's hard for you, but unfortunately, if you really want to go somewhere, didn't they say that it's a sad, hold on, let me get it right. If you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
Oh, that would be good. I teach my young
men,
men, don't focus on the cheers. Thank you. Those vanity metrics, as science would say, don't focus on the cheers.
Don't focus on that.
Because as soon as, they cheer you right now, they bring you down the next moment. I'm not going to go into the Bible stuff, but I'm going to say this. Jesus could have been spared. Could have been spared. Now they done celebrate this man. He done turned water into wine. He done raised the dead. He done healed
them fishes and them loaves.
All this stuff. And it's like, well, should we let Jesus go? That carpenter, the man from Nazareth, or Barabbas? And they said, no, we're gonna let him go. Right. He's a thief. He's a this, whatever he was. So again, the same people that was cheering him on, following him around. We know Peter denied him 3 times before the cock crowed. So again, like you said, don't be hung up on these cheers. No. So he's cheering you for you this moment, then they're not cheering for you the next. And
then you get in your feelings.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. And what you said, did I be in my feelings? Then you in your but you shouldn't though. But you shouldn't though. But that means you got to know you and do your work so that you don't do that. And I do have about that in the book, upcoming book. But yeah, because you're still, it's fleeting. Yeah. And it's more fleeting now than it was when I was finalizing the book, because things are changing just like this.
Absolutely. So I can tell you one thing that's changing, and I didn't even notice because I won't paying attention. But I got gas yesterday going down the road to see the parent. Gas was $2.87. Okay.
Okay.
Why is it? Got in the car today. Gas on the road. Gas is $3.14.
87. So it's going up almost 30 cents overnight.
Things are changing.
Like that.
Things are changing.
Okay.
Have it been 24 hours?
No, it wouldn't have been 24 hours. No.
No. Nope.
And that's a good example of it, OnJerya, because that's something people can see. But
Yes.
what are you learning from that? Just as the gas is going up just that quickly, other things are changing.
Yeah.
So, well, Miss OnJerya, you got the final word for tonight?
Like I said, and I will continue to say it, just focus on yourself and stop focus on. Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you,
Jesus
Blackman.
Blackman, you too.
You
Thank
too.
you. Just focus on yourself and stop worrying about other people, because as long as you continue to focus on you, doors will open for you. Things will happen for you.
Mhm.
Now, what I will say is there's nothing wrong with friendly competition. And when I say friendly competition, meaning that it's okay to compete with
Oh, yeah.
yourself, right?
Yes. Yourself. Oh, yeah.
It's okay to even say, well, I'm glad that this is working for you, right? But how can I make it work for me? And not necessarily the thing that that person is doing, right? But just how can I take what already exists? Because as we know, we ain't got time to be trying to reinvent the wheel. Okay, we ain't got time to be trying to reinvent the wheel. But how can I take the knowledge and skills that I have and make it work for me? Because somebody can have that same knowledge, same skills, same background as far as education, age, experience, and all. But the product is always going to be different. So if I had to say anything, again, worry about yourself. Stop worrying about other people. Doors will open for you. Stop blocking your blessing, being envious. Because sometimes I do believe God be trying to help you, but you so stuck on stupid. Because
I am with
the way
that.
he blessing you is not the way he blessing the other people, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Your blessings are your blessings and their blessings are their blessings. So focus on your blessings and your growth and your inner healing with that child that needs to be healed on the inside. And I promise you, life will be so much better. And then when you have these conversations with other people, it won't be such a Debbie Downer of like negative energy that people don't want to hear. Because then we can really hear the positiveness coming out of you of like the things that you're working towards. And that's what people want to hear. It's nothing wrong with having a woe is me moment, because we have them.
Yeah.
I had one earlier. I ain't even gonna hold it. I did. But you see, I'm here full of positivity and I'm sharing it with all of you guys because again, I can't stay there.
No.
I would love to. I was cutting up for real, cutting up. I mean, I, I was showing out, but I can't stay there because what changes? Nothing's going to change. I got it out my system and now I'm rocking and rolling and I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's working on me and understanding that some people are who they are and they're not going to change who they are. So since they're not going to change who they are, you have to change how you're going to interact with them so that then you don't get all up in arms and be showing out and showing out in that nice, so colorful way that we all know that we do so well because, we don't do that.
You are so special. You know, I just enjoy these times with you, OnJerya, and our audience. One of the things I want to say what Jesse Blackman 23 said, because we were talking about the vanity metrics, and he said, I teach my young men not to focus on the cheers, because if you live for the cheers, you'll die by the booze. And that's what I want to leave you with. If you're focused on the cheers, you'll die by the booze because you won't have the emotional intelligence in order to deal with when things are not going well or people are no longer championing you. But let me tell you a secret here. This is what Miss Laney was saying. Baby, that's you.
It is.
Because you have been given the skills to make sure that you understand who you are and that you are secure in who you are. And you have learned to navigate life. So if you're going to be distracted by people cheering you and not understand that they won't always cheer you,
Right.
as I said to a caller years ago, they talked about Christ. You've heard me say that before. They talked about Christ. I understand what it feels like at an early age to have people cheer and then boo. And let me tell you something. I'm so grateful because it taught me something. It taught me resilience. It taught me emotional intelligence when they weren't even calling it emotional intelligence. It taught me how to self-regulate. It taught me the importance of social intelligence. It taught me the importance of cultural intelligence. We weren't talking about those things. So again, don't live for the cheers. Don't envy what other people have. Don't. Lord, I just hate to say it this way. Get right with God and do it now. Get right with yourself.
Right down at the cross where my Jesus shed his blood.
Come on here. Get right with God. Get right with God. Get right with yourself.
Yes, honey.
Get right with you.
Yeah.
And the rest will follow. That's a song too. I don't
Let
know
the
who
church
that
of the doors open. The doors of the church are open.
Well, it's going to have a little altar call here
Yes,
tonight. You
honey. The
know.
doors of the church are open. If you need some prayer, just come on up here for
Come on up. I'll give you a
come
word of
on up.
prayer. And I'm serious about that. I'll give you a word of prayer. Because again, get right with you and do it now. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about other people passing judgment on you, either good judgment, that cheers, or the boos. That's going to happen in life, baby.
Sure.
You understand that? The better off you're going to be. You tell them TAS told you that. The better off you will be. Things will not bother you so much. I didn't say it's not going to bother you at all, but it won't bother you as much. You get over things much faster because you begin to understand it's not personal. It happens to teach you and to move you further along your path. But when you can't get the lesson, the groundhog days will keep coming. And you don't want the groundhog days. Because sometimes they come back to just be so nice. It'll be that same old groundhog. You thinking, daggone, there they are again.
I need a break from this. It just happened yesterday. It's okay. It's going to happen again.
It's going to happen again.
With a different person.
With a different person.
A different situation.
A different situation. It's going to be the same thing. So learn them lessons. Because 2025, we're about ready to go into February. It's going fast. We'll be in August, and we'll be like, where did the year go? And I'll be saying, well, it's August. It's about time for Christmas. Because, you know, when August comes, she laughed because I've been saying this since I was a little girl. When August comes, you know, Christmas is almost here. And I'm right. So, again, don't waste this precious time. Focus on the wrong thing. Focus on you instead of other people. And you'll be much better for it. And remember, before you go try and take care of somebody else, please take care of yourself first. Bye now.
Bye.